Welcome to CPXL. This podcast of CrossPoint Church is designed to encourage you to go further and grow deeper. CrossPoint is a rural multi-site church committed to taking the gospel to every place and everyone. You can access all CrossPoint resources at crosspointchurch.com. But now, let's join this episode of CPXL with your host, Pastor Andy Addis.
And the wonderful Mrs. Addis. How are you on Proverbs 12 day?
So good.
Good. We are rolling through the book of Proverbs as our CPXL Bible study, and we're encouraging you to read a chapter of Proverbs every week, and then we'll do a selection from there to help back up and confirm that study. Is there another fly in here?
Yes.
For those of you who, I don't know if you care about the little things that happen in between, but we never have flies in here until we start recording. Mm-hmm. And Kathy went on a mission. She assassinated a fly a minute ago, and we thought it was the only one, but apparently he has a brother. I just heard him say, "My name is Antigo Moyo. You killed my father. Prepare to die." So if we get to swatting in here, just ignore what we're going. Anyway, we are in Proverbs 12, and we're going to look at verses 15 through 18 today. But because Proverbs chapter 12, verse 1 is such an umbrella statement for the whole chapter, that's kind of what I've titled it. What does yours say in Proverbs 12:1?
To learn, you must love discipline. It is stupid to hate correction.
I love that. Mine says, whoever loves discipline loves knowledge, but he who hates reproof is stupid. So all those times I got in trouble as a youth pastor, you can't use that word with my kids. Stupid. It's in the Bible.
That's right.
There it is. There's the word stupid.
To hate correction, you are stupid.
So this is, to hate correction means you're stupid is what it says. And that means everybody is stupid. Nobody's like, woo, discipline.
Right. I love to be
I
corrected.
love it when people catch me in error. No, we all struggle with this, 100%. And yet that is the teaching. So, sorry, that was a little boisterous, was it not? So what we're getting at is that this section we're going to be looking at under the umbrella of verse 1 is this: don't be stupid.
Don't be stupid. I love it.
One of my first albums by Weird Al Yankovic was Dare to be Stupid. He was daring you to be stupid. This is the opposite of that. So let's read verses 15, 16, 17, and 18. Once you read them for us, and then you're in the NLT, we'll go back and look at them in ESV, and we'll study them in both. So
15 through 18.
Yes.
Fools think their own way is right, but the wise listen to others. A fool is quick-tempered, but a wise person stays calm when insulted. An honest witness tells the truth. A false witness tells lies. Makes sense. Some people make cutting remarks, but the words of the wise bring healing.
All right, so all of these are in the same vein. There's a lot of it that has to do with words, but this is not just words spoken like we talked about last week. This is about words received in many contexts as well. So let's just follow through here. Verse 15, the way of a fool is right in his own eyes, but a wise man listens to advice. The point of this verse is that fools are just blindly confident, and it makes them callous to wisdom. You know, we call some things confidence that the Bible would call stupidity. So let me say that one more time. The world applauds some things as go-get-em confidence that Scripture would say dumb. Matter of fact, the word fool is e-will there, and it's translated as hardened or a thick-headed fool. That's that whole, anything getting through, McFly? Anything getting through? And so this is, we're going to see the word fool a couple of times in these passages, and it's that same word, a thick-headed, hardened fool. This overconfidence is marked by one factor that makes the difference between a wise man and a fool, and it's teachability. The lack of teachability is the mark of a fool. The acceptance of teaching, being teachable, means you're wise, first of all, because you were teachable.
Right.
And it's expressed in the fact that you were still teachable. That you could have been teachable, and then you thought you learned enough, and you got everything, and you became a fool. But teachability is the sign that you have wisdom, you are wise, and you can gain wisdom. So teachability is what, think about it in these terms. Are you teachable? Here's what it says. The way of the fool is right in his own eyes. but a wise man listens to advice. Let's go back to, and it's sweet because he was a toddler, but when Noah was real little, his favorite phrase was,
My do it.
my do it.
My do it.
My do it. Didn't matter that I tied shoes so much longer than him.
Right.
Didn't matter that I had the ability to reach places that he didn't have the ability to reach. There was something in that little boy. He's like, my do it.
Yep.
It's
do it.
I got this. And maybe it's a firstborn thing. I don't know. They're troubled people. Because I am one. There we go.
I'm the baby.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. So the way of a fool, right in his own eyes. Wise man listens to advice. That verse is all about being teachable. Verse 16 then goes on. This one's an incredible verse, but it takes a little bit. I want you to read yours again. Then I'll read mine because they don't contrast. They draw out different pieces of what's going on here. So Proverbs chapter 12, verse 16.
A fool is quick-tempered, but a wise person stays calm when insulted.
Yeah, it just says it straight out. Mine says the vexation of a fool is known at once. So vexation is anger. Yours says
Wow.
Yours is angry, and at once is known at once. It's the word for day. It's the Hebrew word yom. So it means they don't let a day go by. If I'm angry, you're gonna know right now, right? Sun's not gonna set on my anger because I'm gonna use it on you. And so the vexation, the anger, the angst of a fool is known right away. We have a glasses strike on the microphone. We haven't had one for several episodes.
I was hoping you didn't see that.
If I wasn't making eye contact with you, I might have missed it.
I know.
So Kathy 0,
Right.
microphone 1. Sorry. For those of you keeping track, many of you have probably not done that in a long time, but anytime Kathy hits her face on the microphone, we should have like a sound effect.
No, we should.
Da-da-da-da,
I think me hitting it is a good
is the sound effect.
Yeah.
All right, so the vexation of fool, blah, blah, blah. We know what this means, but at once. But the second half of that, the prudent ignores an insult. So I'm like that guy. I'm like, I'm not vexed. I'm not going to get angry all at once. So I must be the other half. Oh, I don't know that I'm the other half either. Because when I get insulted, it's not water off a duck's back usually. I wish it was.
Yeah.
I wish I had the ability to just go, oh, those poor people that hurt that much, they got to say that thing. But it's never the way that comes out. I struggle with the verbal jabs and the insulting comments. So let's do the Bible study on this. The word prudent is an interesting word because it means crafty. And for us, crafty usually means like, what was the fox on Dora the Explorer? Remember what his name?
Swiper, no swipey.
Swiper, no swipey.
Yeah.
He was crafty. Right?
Wow.
That was a poll, wasn't it? So he was this cute little character, but he had the bandit mask on, and that's what we think of as crafty. But crafty, even though that is the actual word, you might even be able to see this here. It says it's positive. The negative connotation is shrewdness, but it is always contrasted with a positive synonym to be skillful. So it's saying the person who is skillful, the person who is crafty in a positive way, they have the skills to take that insult and go, I'm not gonna process that. I'm not gonna let that own me. I'm not gonna let that get on me. That's beautiful, isn't it?
So mine says stay calm. Yours says ignore it.
Yeah, well, because as you look there, the prudent ignores an insult, but the word ignores is, let me pull up the Greek here, or the Hebrew real quick here. The word ignores is to cover, to conceal, or to hide. So yours says...
stays calm.
Stays calm. Mine says ignores. It's because the skillful person just covers over that, conceals it, doesn't affect me at all. Right? I thought, didn't you just get attacked? But we got work to do. And so that doesn't matter. And so that's it. I wish it said in verse 16b, and here's how you do that. But what it is it's because you become a prudent, a crafty, a shrewd, wise, positive person who you're like, oh, I recognize that as destructive. I recognize that as language from the devil. I recognize that as something that's trying to get me off track. And I refuse to bow to that. I'm a child of the King. I am on a mission.
So it's not saying that he doesn't get mad about it. He just says that he doesn't show it. Is that what that means?
You could probably get there, but I don't think that's what that means. I think what it means is they have learned the skills of going, that's not going to
just
affect
letting
me.
it go, like
Yeah.
for real.
Yeah. In other words, it's this is not where it goes, but you're dead to me.
Oh, well,
Right. That I'm not saying that's what he does here, but in the same context of your words have no bearing on me. I mean, I love you and I appreciate the fact that you have an opinion, but the word that we have there for insult is the word for shame or disgrace. Somebody tries to shame you, somebody tries to disgrace you, and they're like, nope, you can't do it because I know who I am in Christ. I know who I am in the eyes of God. And so, nope, not going to have it.
That's cool. And by cool, I mean, wow. I heard an example of this by a woman in Bible study who was talking about how a friend of hers that is not a believer and does not, at this point, intend to be one.
Right.
But they've been friends for years and years and years. And while this young lady has given her life to Christ and is really growing in it, there was a confrontation of some kind, and her friend just let her have it. Just let her have it. And she said, all I could think of was, my response was, thank you for making me a better Christian. Because I recognize
was
I shouldn't have
crafty.
said that. Yeah.
That was crafty.
And I'm like, I mean, yay. But I mean, that was so, it was big. Like, that was so big. There was so much to that. But I mean, in her heart, she said, she pointed out what she felt like I had done wrong. And I thought, well, maybe I did. And I thanked her for making me a better Christian. And I thought, that's pretty awesome.
That's pretty good. A week and a half ago, there was a young man who posted on Twitter, and his post did not name me, but it was all about me. And it was, I came from this background and I escaped this, and I'm not part of that, blah, blah, blah anymore. And if you knew who he was and where he was from, I'm like, oh, you might as well put my name in our church all over that.
Yeah.
And my first thought was, okay, I'm just going to repost this and show you all the ways that you're stupid. I mean,
because only a fool hates correction, right?
Well, and I mean, I literally was rolling through this thing going, about every other word that you're saying is just false. You are so full of yourself and blah, blah, blah. And I literally had keys on a keyboard or fingers on a keyboard. And I was like, this is the dumbest thing I could do. This is the dumbest thing that I could do, is to respond. And what I did, I love this. I've never done it before. This was a first for me.
What did you do?
I blocked him. So I don't even have to see it anymore. You're dead to me. No, and I don't mean that. But for me, my thought was, I was so tempted to respond. And it would have been so childish and so foolish.
Yeah.
I don't need that in my own life. So I think that was the craftiest thing that I could do in that moment.
Congratulations. Well done, sir.
Now, I did copy it and send it to some friends, and
Andrew
we laughed
Michael.
about it. But that was not public.
We're working on it.
We're getting there.
We're working on it.
Had one good moment and then fail. Whammy, no whammy. Slammer, no whammy. What was that? It was
Swiper, no swipey is all I can think of.
Swiper, no swipey. No whammies.
No whammies.
That's
Yeah,
it.
that's
Okay.
it.
Got me a whammy. If you don't know what we're talking about, it would not help you to figure it out.
It's true.
Verse 17, whoever speaks the truth gives honest advice, but a false witness utters deceit. I don't know if you're listening, but I remember this when Kathy read that. She's going, well, that's true. She just whispered that.
An honest witness tells the truth. A false witness tells lies. Okay, duh.
And I think that's the truth. That's the truth. But if there's anything to point out in that verse, I mean, it's in the flow of all these verses that are together here. Whoever speaks, do you have a little number next to speaks on yours, or does it say that there's? Because mine, you see, I got a little number 2 on the ESV there. It's because it means whoever breathes out, and that means that this again is like the walkabout that we talked about in the last podcast. They just breathe it out, and their lies are like breaths. They're
just liars.
Yeah, whoever speaks the truth gives honest advice. So they're positive. But but a false witness utters deceit. You either breathe truth or you breathe lies. You got to kind of decide who you're going to be. Does that make sense?
So he's saying you're one or the other?
Well, no, but you get in habits, right? Liar's going to lie. I mean, I don't know if this is true for any of you, but I know it's true for some of you. But sometimes when you're caught in those habits, you'll lie just to lie. Not because the truth is bad, but because the lie is better. And you just got caught up in that kind of way of thinking and the way of doing things. So, when I think about this, truth versus lies, we want to say something because something feels like this is going to sound better, it's going to feel better. I have a phrase that I use with our staff when we do budgeting stuff all the time, and it's this: numbers are our friends even when they say mean things. Because it's truth, right? You may not like what it is, but truth is going to be helpful to you. Right. A lie, we say, no, you got plenty of money, go ahead. Plan for that. And then it come crash and burn. Right. Or, no, sky's falling, and we actually have it, but we didn't do something we could have done for the gospel. No, truth is always going to be best, and numbers are a great example of that.
Yeah. This made me think of an honest person, an honest witness tells the truth, a false witness tells lies. Like exaggerating.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's almost the truth. It's enhanced truth.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still a lie.
Yeah. See, that's the point you got to get to.
And that's, I mean, because I think, I don't know that many people that are just liars, that I know. And I don't feel like I'm a liar, but I do exaggerate sometimes.
Yeah. And so let's talk about this. Is exaggeration a lie, or is it just exaggeration? I'd say this: truth has edges. Right?
Yeah.
And when you move past the edge, you're no
lie.
longer in truth.
Yeah.
And so if exaggeration takes it past the edge, then it's no longer truth.
And that was me. Like I was really bad about that, and I didn't think it was bad. I didn't think it was wrong because I wasn't lying, but
you were.
But I was.
Yeah.
And it took a long time, but God was like, "Hey, stop it."
Okay, so the takeaway from this is that Kathy's a liar.
Not anymore. Wow.
You've gotten better.
I have. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I agree. I've witnessed it. Verse 18. Last verse. Let's cover this one.
Keep moving.
There is one whose harsh or rash words are like sword thrusts, but the tongue of the wise brings healing. Let me read that again. There is one whose rash words are like sword thrusts, but the tongue of the wise brings healing. Once again, we've been going through these compare and contrast between the wise and the fool, between the good and the bad and the ugly. But this one is really just an impressive verse because of the poetic nature of it. The words for rash words, other translations call them reckless words. They just mean like, when you say rash or reckless, think of that car that's running out of control with a driver who's putting on makeup or texting or whatever, and they're bouncing all over. That when you use words like that, you're not thinking about keeping them in the lane or how fast they're going or what they're doing to anybody else. You're just bumbling down the lane. That's what it means. They are like sword thrusts. And I'm just going to read this straight out of a couple of lexicons, because what does it mean? They're like sword thrusts. These reckless words can in fact be very hurtful or piercing, a piercing or a stabbing. So those words, thoughtless versus thoughtful speech, that's kind of what this is about. Thoughtless speech. I just said, it's just something I said, or it's just words.
Because it was funny.
Right. That is the piercing, the cutting, the stabbing, the painful attack of a weapon is what the Bible says reckless words are.
Words hurt.
They do. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. Never a greater lie. Never a greater lie.
That's what you tell little kids to get over it, but
it's not true.
It's not true.
It's not true. They actually, sticks and stones may break your bones, but words are swords that thrust.
Words are swords that cut.
That's it.
Yeah.
But the tongue of the wise brings healing. So the opposite of that, it's not just healing, marpe, but the word healing means health. It literally brings health. It heals and brings health. So let's go back to the playground. Kid says harmful things. You say, oh, they're just words. No, they're stabs.
Yeah.
Another kid says something to build up your kiddo. That's healing and that's health.
Yeah.
And it doesn't change when you get off the playground. Right? It's the same for the rest of your days.
Yeah.
All right, so several verses that we have here that all are in the same vein. The way of a fool, right in his own eyes. The vexation of a fool comes out at once. You speak truth, you speak false. They make a difference. Rash words, all these things. So here's your CPXL challenge. What is the thing that we need to focus on? Well, choose your filter.
Ah.
Are you going to let the filter of your life be the wise, thoughtful, prudent, all those positive sides? Or are you going to be the bumbling vehicle, the vexation that comes out in anger? You really have to choose. That's what this passage is all about. Choose what filter you're going to put on your mouth. Amen?
Okay.
So, pick a filter and go with it. Many blessings to you. We'll see you on another edition of CPXL next week. Read chapter 13, and we'll do this together.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of CPXL. We hope that you have been challenged to go further and grow deeper. If this podcast has been a help to you, we ask that you would like, comment, and share on whatever platform you use. And if you would like to access additional resources, go to CrossPointChurch.com. We will see you again soon on another edition of CPXL.